Tonight on Joy News Prime, fear and misconception continue to hamper the COVID-19 vaccination exercise in Bukom. Many say they might get severely sick and therefore have decided not to take the jab. Fighters League and Fix the Country movement's marriage land on rocks. Economic Fighters League accuses Fix the Country movement of associating with some political parties. Also in this bulletin, Education Minister held before Parliament over controversial one teacher, one laptop policy amidst threats of full-scale parliamentary probe.
Deal smells fishy. And the only way we can get to the bottom of this is to get the minister to respond.
And in business,
new travel guidelines which mandate COVID-19 vaccination for international travelers disembarking to Ghana take effect less than 24 hours. But how could that impact passenger traffic this Christmas?
There is always going to have to be a balance to be found between the economic impact and the public health impact of any protocols that are put in place to combat the pandemic.
Plus, police arrest a man suspected of slashing a young woman with a kitchen knife and smashing her with a brick at Pakoso, close to Asokore Mampo in Kumasi. We are live from our studios in Kokomlimle. We are on Go TV channel 144 and DSTV channel 421. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. My name is Aisha Ryan. Do stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. Let's begin with the Ghana Education Service that has mounted a strong defense of its decision to procure TM1 laptops for Ghanaian teachers following widespread criticisms. The defense comes as Education Minister Dr. Yawose Duchum is held before Parliament on the procurement. We'll hear from the minority spokesperson on education shortly, but first, some teacher unions say the laptops are of poor quality and not fit for purpose. They also say they were not asked for consent before being deducted from their salaries, but at the handing over of those laptops to teachers at O'Reilly Senior High School today, Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwah, rejected the criticism, saying the laptops are of high quality.
It's a brand name that is different. And we also have a special reason for making that brand name different. When you put the same brand, you give the same brand to them as what is on the market, you are likely to have those things. I mean, we are working with human beings. You are likely to have some on the market that may not be of the quality that we have provided, slipping into the distribution process. And we believe that giving it a unique brand name will help us as a way, as a security measure. We also went to the table and then we saw how the processes that they go through to collect it. As I've also indicated, the institution, the KA Technology, has given 2-year warranty.
Deputy Ranking Member on the Education Committee of Parliament, Dr. Clement Apak, who has filed a question for the Minister to answer, alleges the selection process and the award of the contract is fraught with corruption, arguing the company selected in the procurement and distribution of the laptops has no track record and was only registered this year.
If you look at what we are witnessing, the complaints that aggrieved teachers have brought forward, and you truly look at the discourse and the information available so far, they have every reason to be dissatisfied with the current arrangement. First of all, when the Vice President launched this initiative, some of us were on record to have indicated that the issues surrounding how the initiative came to be, the company, the 70% versus 30%, and all of that created something that one would consider as fishy. Fishy. And if you look at...
Is that what you believe now, that there's something...
Well, and that is why I have filed a question to Parliament. Well, we have heard the teacher unions, we have heard government, we have heard the members who are supposed to be the beneficiaries. And so once the beneficiaries have an issue with the benefit, that presupposes that there is a problem. Because ideally, this is supposed to help them. But the way and manner in which it was done, and they've talked about issues of transparency, the fact that they were not informed with regards to the...
But we are told that the leadership of the union made this arrangement with government in the provision of the 1 laptops to every teacher.
Yeah, but why do you make arrangements for your members without their full consent, without their buy-in, without consulting them? This is the problem. Because if they had done that, I don't think that the hue and cry from the teachers would be justified. But because they did not include them in the process and carry them along, because the process seems to be a bit murky, not transparent, that is why we are where we are. And that is why some of them have gone to court. Some of them have petitioned the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice. Some of them have come to me personally. It is one of the reasons why I filed the question, so that we hear, how was the company selected? What is the track record of the company? Why were the teachers not informed that monies were going to be advanced to the company which was supposed to supply the laptops? They should have known all of that. And we also have heard concerns about the quality of the laptops. The quality. I've seen videos where some of them have already broken down.
The laptops, yes. The brand new laptop?
Yes.
For the teachers?
Essentially, many of the teachers are saying they are not fit for purpose. And if you ask anyone who is IT savvy, the capacity of the laptop in terms of the specs, storage, memory, and what have you, is just about the same as a high-end techno phone. And truly...
You're liking the laptop that you are giving to the teachers to a techno phone?
It is, the capacity. I am not saying it. Ask those who have done, and I've seen the research. I've been given specs of the high-end techno phone and the specs of the laptop. And so that also raises questions. Even if we are going to expend the colossal amount of money, and if you look at the price and you do the numbers, 285,000 pieces. It works up to slightly below 450 million Ghana cedis. That's no small money. I would have wished that we just go and get fit for purpose, high-end, durable, brand recognizable laptops for our teachers.
Dr. Apak says the minority will push for a full-scale parliamentary probe into the selection of the company and the procurement of the laptops if the answers provided by the minister are unsatisfactory.
I have reason to believe that there has to be a probe. So I am not saying it. I don't have any reason to question the integrity of the leadership of the teacher unions. I don't have any reason to doubt the commitment of government. But when you have these factors hanging, this deal smells fishy. And the only way we can get to the bottom of this is to get the minister to respond, whilst the other processes as initiated by the aggrieved teachers are ongoing. I can tell you that there is a lot of advocacy for me to file a private member's motion for a whole parliamentary inquiry into this issue, because we need value for money. Whether we like it or not, the state is supporting this initiative with 70% of the total cost. So the people too must get the assurance that what has been done gives value for money.
Well, the All Teachers Alliance Ghana has served notice it will hit the streets to protest on the 15th of December. They're also demanding a refund of the monies deducted. Chairman of the group, Isaac Ofori, has joined us via Zoom for more. So you also organized a press conference announcing that you'll be hitting the streets soon, and you're demanding a refund. What is necessitating all of these?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on your show tonight. We have raised several concerns since this laptop issues came out, and we are still raising the concerns now because we realize that the major issues that we have raised so far have not been addressed adequately, either by GES, Minister of Education, or the teacher unions who went into the negotiation. So what fundamentally we are saying that the deduction itself has not been the one that we think the manner in which it was done was not right. That was the first thing that we saw, because you realize that these laptops, they are yet to be distributed. Though GS has come out to give us some assurance in the midst of commitment that they are going to distribute this laptop close by January, all primary school teachers are going to get these laptops. We don't think that they are committed enough, because early this year, we were made to understand that by October, this laptop will be distributed among all teachers across the country. So the best is that why do you have to deduct our money before you come and give us laptops? We have also raised questions about the quality of these laptops, whether they are fit for purpose. You look at whole professionals being given Pentium 1 computer, a computer running on a laptop running on a speed of 1.1 gigahertz is not fit for purpose, and it falls below the standard that fits professionals like us. So we are advocating that instead of government giving us something that is below standard, government can put these machines into schools that lack them and ensure that the ICT and the virtual education that government want to promote in schools are done through this laptop. If government want to give teachers...
But today, the GES boss himself has cleared the air, saying that the laptops are of good quality. Are you not rest assured?
You see, the fact of the matter is that I don't know whether the Ghana Education Service boss himself he has even tried to use the machine. If he has tried to use the machine, then he can give a very good testimony. If he has not, I don't think that he has the capacity to vouch for the quality of these laptops. We have seen evidence from teachers who have received these laptops that these laptops lacks, all the requirements that can be compared to the higher standard laptop that we have seen on the market, be it Core i3, Core i5, Core i7. You can see. So if Director General comes to say that a Pentium 1 laptop is a higher quality laptop, then I think that maybe he has further and better particulars to provide for us to understand that indeed it's a better laptop. But I do not think that as teachers who engage in virtual learning and will be using a lot of softwares, we don't require that we use a machine that even a common Technophone will have a higher version than it. You see, all the phones that we have been using has a bigger memory, and also I don't expect the GES boss to go on that tangent. Maybe if he is using a very good machine at his office, he can try using a TMI laptop. Then he can come up with a better testimony. But what we have now, teachers who have used the machine have reported it's all over. The machine is giving them a lot of problems, and it's not a hidden agenda. Maybe he's saying that because of the pressure that has come upon them. It's better for them to address the issues than for them to sweep them under the carpet and pretend that nothing is wrong. Very soon, we are going to have nationwide issues. Only 68,000 and issues are coming up. What if they finish distributing all the 280,000? Then the issues will come up, and everybody will know that whatever we have said concerning these laptops, indeed, they are not fit for purpose. And that we ask for every teacher across the country to know that we are professionals and we deserve better. I understand private school teachers have received similar policy from their leaders, and we're able to get a very better specs of laptops than what they are giving to us so far. So I believe that as professionals, we have to demand for what is better. Giving us a machine that is costing 1,200, that is the actual price of the laptop that was put in the GES proposal. It was 1,200. So we expect that 1,200 should be able to get a better laptop. Better still, if you want to give us a better laptop, you can have a very good negotiation with us. Give us a very good laptop, because we are going to possess these laptops forever. It's not going to be like we are going to get the laptop and give it out to the government again. It's going to be our personal property. So if we are deducting our money to procure laptops for us, there must be something that is fit for purpose. If it falls below the standard of fitting for purpose, then it means there's a whole issue. So I believe instead of GES going on the tangent of defending the quality of this laptop.
They should address the issues. I'm grateful for your time. Isaac Ofori is chair of All Teachers Alliance Ghana. Now, Pressure Group, the Economic Fighters League, says it has parted ways with the Fix the Country movement. The two groups have for some time now pushed common agenda, running demonstrations together, the latest of which was the protest against the e-levy. At a news conference today, convener of the Fighters League, Ernesto Yeboah, explained the Fix the Country convenience platform no longer offers a favorable atmosphere for honest and credible activities, accusing them of associating themselves with some political parties.
It's basically because we want to protect the people's revolution. And we do not want Fix the Country to go the same path of the CJs, of the AFAGs, of the Occupy Ghanas. And we saw what happened to those movements and their leaders. We don't want the same thing to happen to Fix the Country. And so what we are doing is in protection of Fix the Country from falling into that trap. And what we find clear as identical to all these other movements that I've talked about is the fact that none of these movements named a clear political alternative. And so in the end, they ended up working for either the MPP or the NDC. And when the MPP or the NDC came to power, I mean, we saw what happened with those leaders. They went silent, life became instantly better for them, whilst the vast majority of the people who stood with them still wallowed in poverty and not having their issues resolved. As a movement that has integrity, the Economic Fighters League feels that we have to do this for Mother Ghana. We have to do this in protection of the hard work by very hard-working people. I mean, and ordinary people we have met through, how do you call it, this engagement. So it's just the idea of protecting the movement from going that way that has resulted in us stepping away from the conveners platform to be able to offer that protection.
Convener of the Fix the Country movement, Oliver Bakavamo, is a Facebook post in a Facebook says the Ghana office of the movement will issue a statement in response to the development. And you can see that what he sent on Facebook. He said, "Have just watched the press conference of my friends at Fighters regarding their intention to no longer be conveners of Fix the Country so as to contest the 2024 elections. I've seen that many have tagged me following that decision. I suspect Fix the Country GH may speak on the matter shortly. So let's all please wait for that communication. I don't want to preempt that. Personally, it's really sad and painful that we are separating with friends who we've been fighting with. In fact, I've made friends with EFL. Friendships I trust will endure. But Fix the Country is committed to a non-partisan mobilization. I wish EFL well when it competes in 2024. Personally, I will vote for them when they do." Principle matters. Let's do health, because Health Directorate overseeing the Bukom area has announced fresh measures to encourage more people to get inoculated against coronavirus. As the country takes stock of more vaccines, many people are expected to get vaccinated. However, in Bukom, fears and misconceptions continue to hamper the exercise. Many fear they might get severely sick and therefore have decided not to take the jab. Of the few that have taken the jabs, women outnumber men. Again, more elderly persons have interest in the vaccines, whereas the young have succumbed to their fears. Michael Papaniashale has been finding out why many have refused to take the vaccine.
Many people walking around without the fear of COVID-19. Social distancing here is almost impossible because of the dense population. Unfortunately, that is the situation in Bukom, in the heart of the Greater Accra region. COVID-19 was first recorded in Ghana in 2019. 2 years down the line, the fears and misconceptions linger, hampering the collective effort to prevent unbridled spread of the virus. The wearing of nose masks, a regular washing of hands, and social distancing were encouraged as a medium-term solution to stop the spread. But in Bukom, wearing of the nose mask is not adhered to. Some don't believe the virus exists. Assemblyman for the area, Carlos Mancata, says the assembly has done a lot to educate the people on the need to wear their mask, but it is apparent the education has not been enough.
But as the assembly, since COVID last year to now, we've tried our possible best. Personally, I've shared more than 1,500 nose masks, both the used one and the medical one, we used to call them, through last year to now. By then, we are having our former mayor of Accra, the person of Honorable Mohamed Ajisowa. We use our information van to come to the various electoral areas, announce the COVID, educate the electorates on what COVID is, and also the symptoms, so that in the near future or along the line, when you see some of these symptoms, you just rush to the nearest hospital. So, as the assembly, we've done our best, and as the assembly member for the electoral area too, I've also done my best. We still continue to educate them so that they can max up, because most of them, for the vaccine, I can see they've not gone for the first and second jab of the vaccine. So, personally, I myself, I've gone for my jab already, and I'm waiting for the second one. Like I said, we'll still continue to educate them.
Vaccines have provided an extra layer of protection that has been made available to the public, but there are challenges. Vaccine hesitancy is a major one.
She wants in here while Magbu, Conibati, Nuko Close, no one your Umbu.
I can't lie, Minako, Shaka, Ronaka, ye, I guess I know your Bubenafeka la by any a wabble, ye, a lie. No, no, she knew Ninka think I boo. First, I don't mean shake by I can't boo and boo. She never shake when I go on email comment boo, Nino Quefequa me. Bemus and my magbu. No any pan in tending boo. Ning boo, no problem. Nako in Nuko no qualo in Naquaka with Jammy Fame Noko. She just in noon in the heke. No, the following there, no pink say, na le don. First, no carry no ne yagboe. No ye fenya kwa. Nyafane, yagbu, no ye fenya gboa.
What you me complain I me can be. Kami Bashia, I'm trying to get a number of people. I'm cut to find. Kami cut to find still. They were complaining. I knew what they were going to say. I go about film. About film go to one again.
Bini first no wagbu. Inya gbu enyo fen. Inya card ye jam. No go fame. E wa me pa mambi fa ka me ni ka me gbu amagbu. So no go fe am. Mbi e fen agbu.
According to Ashedu Keteke Sub-Metro, more women are getting inoculated as against men. Health Director for the area, Dr. Jacqueline Anita Soa, says the service will in the coming days implement fresh measures to increase interest in the vaccination exercise, including education and mobilization of the vaccination centers.
Since the vaccination started, there's even been studies on women who they tested on, and most of them even got pregnant after they've been vaccinated. So when it comes to the fertility part, there's really no correlation with the vaccine and infertility, for that matter. Okay, some people also, like you said, will say that when you take, you become impotent. It's not true, and most of their fears or worries are not true. Most of them are baseless, if I may say. My boss says, as Greater Accra Region and National, we've been having training programs and workshops on vaccine hesitancy, which very soon will be rolling out the program in this sub-metro, God willing, very soon. We will educate the community on their fears. We'll ask them questions for us to also answer and let them know. We'll actually address their fears. Let me say that. We are also doing more announcements, more sensitization going on. We need to get people vaccinated. It's very, very, very important.
Michael Papani, Ashalis report for Joy News.
Police have arrested a man suspected of murdering a young woman at a park close to a Sokori Mampo in Kumasi. Since from his house indicate he allegedly slashed her with a kitchen knife before smashing her head with a brick. The youth who arrested him say he has been inviting, robbing and stabbing commercial sex workers he brings from town. Erastus Asaridonko joins us via Zoom with more. Erastus Asaridonko, tell us, how did this all happen?
So this evening, 2 workers who were working on a roofing of a building, a story building close by, noticed that the suspect was trying to hit something on the ground. And in fact, one of them got inquisitive and peeped closer and saw that it was a human being he was carrying on his shoulders. He dumped it in a plantain farm and then started hitting the head of the girl with a brick. And so that's what caught their attention. And so they went into the house and caught him as he was trying to flee from the crime scene. And in fact, upon further search, when we got to the scene, we found the murder weapon, a kitchen knife. And if you see the markings on the walls of the room, you could see that he started struggling with the suspect inside the room. All
right, so we lost Erastus Asaridonko there. He's the one monitoring this for us. A man suspected of slashing his wife with a kitchen knife and also hitting her with a brick. And there's some young men in the area who have arrested him. Now, Erastus Asaridonko is back. Erastus, tell me more about this.
And so you could see the blood stains, which paints a picture of the struggle right from the room to a point where I think he wanted to slash the neck of the lady. And so you could see the throat slit a bit, and then there were pools of blood in some holes over there. Then he started dragging him along the building lines right into the plantain farm, where he finally smashed her head with a brick. And so there you could see a pool of blood there. In fact, what we are learning about him is that he's called Nana Bonsu. His other names are Augustine. Now, he is an ex-convict. He went to prison for 9 years for a rape charge. And then he has also spent some jail time stealing mobile phones and robbing people of their mobile phones and laptops. And so it was after his jail sentence that the family claims that they thought that he has repented and that people started complaining about robberies around the area, but they never attributed it to him. He was arrested by the youth and then advised to let go, and then he has succeeded in killing somebody.
So where is this man we're talking about now?
Well, so the local indigents arrested him. They handed him over to the police. He has since been rushed to the Menchia Government Hospital, where he's receiving treatment, I learned. The body of the deceased, who is yet to be identified, has also been picked up by the police. In fact, she will be around the ages of about 20, I think in his early 20s. From the way it moves and the way she speaks, they suspect that she might be a Nigerian. And they think that she's also a prostitute who comes in from the Dichamsu area. But at the crime scene, you could see ID cards belonging to ladies who the local people claim the guy robs and stabs in the area.
And what is police saying?
Well, at the moment, the police have not released any statement. They just came for the body. They have not also spoken to the media. They are yet to issue any released concerning this particular incident.
All right, this is something that we'll be following for you. Our viewers will give you updates as and when we get it. Erastus Asare-Donkor is our man in the Ashanti region. And still to come in business, new travel guidelines which mandate COVID-19 vaccinations for international travelers disembarking into Ghana take effect in less than 24 hours. But how will that impact passenger traffic this Christmas?
Always going to have to be a balance to be found between the economic impact and the public health impact of any protocols that are put in place to combat the pandemic.
And welcome to Business. I'm Charles Aitib. Aviation expert Shawn Mendes has dispelled speculation that travel regulations at the Kotoka International Airport will drive away investors and subsequently reduce passenger traffic this Christmas. The travel regulation includes, among other things, compulsory vaccinations for all non-vaccinated travelers disembarking in Ghana. We have more in this report.
For pre-arrival processes, all international passengers, including those from the ECOWAS region intending to fly to Ghana, will be required to have a PanaBio account and must ensure to have a COVID test 72 hours before the scheduled departure time from their country of origin. Upon arrival, all passengers 18 years and above arriving in Ghana will be required to also provide evidence of full vaccination for a COVID-19 vaccine at the point of embarkation. There is an exemption, however, for all unvaccinated Ghanaians and residents of Ghana who are currently outside the country and intend to return within 14 days between the 14th and 28th of December 2021. They would, however, be vaccinated upon arrival at the airport. This is one of the tightest restrictions ever introduced at the Kotoka International Airport amidst the global pandemic and the resurgence of the Omicron variant. Airlines who fail to comply will be surcharged $3,500 per passenger upon arrival at the Kotoka International Airport.
Well, speaking earlier on the marketplace, Shawn Mendes says the travel regulations will not affect passenger traffic.
Is always going to have to be a balance to be found between the economic impact and the public health impact of any protocols that are put in place to combat the pandemic. I don't think that vaccinations themselves are going to have a direct impact in terms of driving down passenger numbers. When we discussed this last year, I think we had mentioned that, Africa will be behind the curve and it's probably going to be around 2022 before mandatory vaccinations become reality in Africa. And I think Ghana is one of the first African countries now who are taking the step with vaccines pretty much available to anybody who wants them now in most African countries. This is not something that, that is going to drive people away who want to travel, but who are unable to access the vaccine. So I think that the people who are planning to travel are already vaccinated or have access to the vaccines. And I think it's actually something which will help boost the safety rather than drive down the numbers.
How much, tightened measure is much more of a restriction, if we could put it that way, for international travelers?
Well, there are two tools at our disposal to combat the spread of the variants when traveling. One of these is testing, and one of these is vaccination. I think a lot of African countries led the way in terms of using testing as a means to be able to prevent the transmission of spread through travel. And now that vaccination has become so widespread across the African continent, or at least access to vaccination has become widespread throughout the African continent, it is the next logical tool.
Away from that, Ghana is ranked the 8th biggest economy in Africa by the World Bank's latest report dubbed African countries with the highest gross domestic product over time. The report captured the total monetary or market value of all goods and services produced within an economy. Last year, of course, Charles Nixon Yabwa looks at the data and has come through with this report.
This is a vast improvement compared to the year 2005, in which the nation was outside the bracket of the top 10 biggest economies in Africa. However, with an economic size of $72.4 billion according to the World Bank, the country has witnessed consistent expansion in its economy in the last 15 years. That is largely boosted by oil production, which is now a critical sector of the economy. Ghana was one of the few African countries that witnessed a marginal growth of 0.4% in its economy last year after the global economy was battered by COVID-19. Despite this impressive growth rate of the economy in the past years, many economists, analysts, and market watchers have questioned the impact of the country's high growth rate on real jobs and infrastructural development. They claim a better way of assessing the real impact of economic growth is through indicators such as happiness index and consumer confidence index. Meanwhile, with a total GDP of $432.3 billion, Nigeria was the biggest economy on the African continent last year. It was followed by Egypt and South Africa in second and third positions respectively.
That'll be it for business. We have sports coming up. Do stay.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment with me, Oriku Wampofo. Richard Kome says he'd let down his country after losing to Vasily Lomachenko in a fight that could have set him up for a world title shot. The Ghanaian lost via unanimous decision despite touching the canvas in the 7th round. Following the defeat, many boxing experts have urged Richard Kome to move from the lightweight division to the super lightweight division. One of such persons is WBC international referee Judge Michael Nikwe. To some more stories, some 54 members who signed a resolution requesting the Ghana Football Association to convene an extraordinary congress to review part of the statute of the Football Association say they will proceed to the congress with or without the approval of the Football Association. Now, despite the Ghana Football Association's claims that their resolution does not meet the requirement of the association statute, especially Article 33, Clause 2, which demands that only more than 50% of members can call for an extraordinary congress, they insist it will still be convened. Now, Wilfred Kwekose has been speaking to Joy Sports.
We've had 2 congresses. There hasn't been any contribution whatsoever from a member with regard to the amendments to the statutes or any regulation. All the amendments had been submitted by the Executive Council or the Presidency. When you look at 25 of the statutes, it specifies that Congress is the supreme legislative authority when it comes to any amendment or anything in relation to the law, whether you are drafting a new one here and there and whatnot. It's Congress that it has to happen. And over the period, this is what has been happening. When our own colleagues took over, they have, one way or the other, avoided amendments coming from congressmen. So they have done convocation, and convocation has been made to such an extent that members are not allowed any time for you to suggest amendments. The reason why this resolution has been made is that there has been infractions on the corporate governance system at the FA, consistently and persistently by the current Executive Council.
Before we go, holders Chelsea will play French side Lille in the Champions League last 16 after the draw for the knockout stages took place for a second time today. A technical problem caused an error in the initial draw, which UEFA said had been declared void. This is the full draw. So Bayern Munich would have to face Austrian side Salzburg, a very short distance for them to travel, as Manchester City, last season's finalists, would be playing against Portuguese side Sporting Lisbon. Benfica face Ajax, who won all of their group games, and defending champions face French champions Lille. Atletico Madrid face Ralf Rangnick's Manchester United, as Juventus face Villarreal. Inter Milan would also be facing 6-time champions Liverpool, as arguably the tie of the round sees Paris Saint-Germain face Real Madrid, with Sergio Ramos set to return to his former club. Well, that's how we wrap up the sports here. You can get some more sports stories on my Joy Online /sports or on Twitter @JoySportsGH. My name is Oriku Wampofo, and World News is up next.
Time now for showbiz. My buddy is here.
It's a beautiful Monday.
Beautiful Becky.
Oh, hey.
How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How you doing?
Oh, great. Always good to see you.
Me
you know
too.
That.
Me too.
What's up for showbiz?
The comedy industry, it appears that it's not dead as, people are suggesting, because Obi Amponsa, together with his colleague, held a beautiful performance at the National Theatre at the weekend, and it was amazing. It was top trends at the weekend, still trending.
Popular but broke.
Popular but broke. So if you haven't seen it, I have excerpts from there. Mapito Sibidi was there.
Doing something on his phone, trying to type something, he decided to look around Ghana. And then you see that thing when you look at something and you have to look at it twice? He was typing, and then his eyes fell on the fuel prices. He was typing, and then he shouted, "Hey!
I don't know, I'm so happy. This is something I've wanted to do so badly. Like, I wanted to climb the stage that way. I wanted to entertain a lot of people in an auditorium, and thanks to God, it came to pass. And Ghana comedy has a future. I'm grateful for everybody who performed tonight.
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. Like, I remember I made a post a couple of months ago when Obi said was going to do this, and I talked about the very first time I witnessed Obi in Kumasi, and my mind was blown then, but guess what, today my mind is overblown.
I think they did amazing from the people that started before introducing the main, and did you see his entry? That was like some Hollywood style. It's nice. I'm just looking at the brighter side that this is going to get better, and I mean, if you are not here, you missed a lot. You should not be missing comedy shows because it's amazing. You should see it for yourself, okay? You should see it for yourself.
Very, very impressive. Yeah. I enjoyed myself immensely. I'm very, very proud of the talent that I saw today. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
It's one of the finest. I really enjoyed it. I'm the happiest this evening, because I've stood for these people, I've made a case for them, and finally it has been proven that we have the best comedians in the whole world.
We definitely have the best comedians in the whole world. Yes,
the whole world, Ghana.
No, I mean across Africa.
Hello to Uncle Sukrit.
Uncle Sukrit. I believe in the dream. I always tell you I have a dream.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So this is just a step in the right direction. But at the weekend also, the Miss Universe 2021 has been crowned, and it's India's Hanas Sandhu. Yeah, she was crowned.
She's so cute.
Yeah, she is. Let's not forget, Aisha, that Ghana was, well represented by Commodore.
And I'm told we performed
she
impressively.
Did. Yeah, she was fantastic. So for those of you who haven't seen her performance, she made, Ghana really proud.
Definitely.
And so we're bringing you highlights of her performance on the Miss Universe stage.
Yay!
Give it up for Ghana.
She did well. She did well.
She did.
But there's someone who has a bigger dream than you. She wants to get married in space.
Space.
You want to wake up in Dubai in 2021.
That's just,
she wants to
a
get
little
married
dream.
in space.
That's a big dream, and she will have that. Well, I'm still looking for the man. Yeah, so that but let's move away from me. Let's talk about Kim Kardashian. So she said that she's passed a baby bar exam after 2 years of attempts, moving her one step closer to becoming a real deal attorney. Okay. So Kim certainly didn't hold back her excitement when she made the announcement Monday, saying, "Oh my God, I passed the baby bar exams." So Aisha, what's the baby bar exams? I mean, you just take a lot.
She told you it's one step closer to becoming an attorney.
Okay.
Yes, that's good news.
So I can also take the baby bar exams here in Ghana, and how does it work here in Ghana?
Their process is different from ours.
Okay.
And definitely, I don't think this is the first step. She's taken many other steps before getting there.
It's been 4 years.
So if you want to do that, you still have to start from the scratch.
Okay, that is where, because I also would love to become a lawyer. There are so many things things happening in this country that I want to support. I just want to defend somebody.
Oh my
spirit.
Where should I start?
Aisha, when you decide that you want to say something on air that is...
You'll be a good lawyer.
Oh, yeah. My lord, it has come to my attention
Thank you
that
so much for bringing us
the showbiz is over.
And
you people, you won't allow me to be my...
Welcome back to the rest of our stories. Persons speculated to be vying for various positions in the New Patriotic Party continue to flout the party's directive to refrain from mounting of billboards ahead of the annual delegates conference in Kumasi. Various intersections and entry points to the city have huge billboards with pictures of key party personalities welcoming delegates to the event, though the directive prescribes possible disqualification of aspirants when nominations are opened as punishment for the offense. Many are adamant of the consequence. Nana Ojema has been looking up for the boards in Greater Kumasi and has filed this report.
The red, blue and white colors of the New Patriotic Party are visible on the principal streets of Kumasi. Clearly, the annual National Delegate Conference of the party being held in the city is evident. Sections of the Kumasi-Accra Road and the Kumasi-Sunyani Road have billboards of some aspirants mounted. Dominant among them is the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Afriyie Akoto, who is said to be interested in the flag bearership position of the party. At Anloga Junction, 2 huge billboards of the Vice President are mounted, welcoming delegates. Similar billboards, banners and T-shirts were showcased at the Ashanti Regional Delegates Conference of the NPP last October. Former Energy Minister Boakye Kyerematen Ejaako, who is said to be harboring presidential ambition, has his billboards visible as well. Missing among them are billboards of Trade and Industry Minister Alan Kyerematen, who has long shown interest in the flag bearership position. Efia Kranchewa is leader of Queens, a group associated with Alan Kyerematen. She explains the group had restrained from mounting billboards following the directive.
The code of conduct, to me, I would say is just a trap, just to intimidate some people, just to intimidate some people's freedom in the party and whatsoever. So, Alan supporters, we are not happy. We are not happy with what is going on. And we are giving them up to Wednesday. We will all do the same. We will also fly our cards, we also wear our T-shirts, we will also display our placards everywhere.
Behind me is one of the billboards that have attracted a lot of attention from persons in the Ashanti region. On the billboard is the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Many believe this is a launch of a vice presidential bid for the Energy Minister, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, but he is yet to declare the real intention behind such a billboard. But to many, it's just a billboard to welcome the delegates to the Ashanti region. The directive, signed by Director of Communication, Yao Boaben Asamoah, bans all billboards and signboards, banners or any kind of outdoor signage with images and names of members with or without the consent of individuals involved within Greater Kumasi before and during the period of the conference. It also directed the removal of all such boards mounted before the communication. Love News Check, however, revealed many of the campaign materials were erected after the release of the directive. The release prescribed the disqualification of aspirants who flout the directive as punishment. Ms. Kranchewa wants the party to enforce the directive to maintain order.
We are expecting the leaders of the steering committee to show us that they mean their words. They mean the words that they sent across. They mean the statement that they sent across to all party faithfuls, supporters and leaders.
Other persons seeking leadership in the party have also mounted similar billboards.
Addressing a press conference in Accra, Director of Communications of the NPP, Yaoboabing Asamoah, says the party is liaising with the Chief of Staff's office to direct all assemblies within Kumasi to act on such unauthorized campaign materials.
The party is conscious of the freedoms and rights of Democrats to run for office, campaign freely for self or for others, join others to form caucuses, groups or movements, and to do whatever is fair and right to achieve electoral success. But none of those rights ought to be exercised above the collective interests of the party and all other stakeholders. In the event, we are once again asking all aspirants to desist from promoting paraphernalia of any kind, including but not limited to outdoor material and T-shirts and the like within the greater Kumasi metropolis before and during the conference. We are calling on the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies through the Office of the Honorable Chief of Staff and the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development to act to ensure that all outdoor displays are dealt with within the confines of the rules. Furthermore, in line with the national aim of mass vaccination, especially given that the gathering for the conference is close to the festive season, we are asking all delegates to ensure that they have received the appropriate COVID-19 jabs before setting off for the conference. We are asking the Ghana Health Service to renew the publication of sites where people can go for jabs. We will also cooperate with the Ghana Health Service to ensure that medical facilities around the conference are set up to cope fully with all COVID-19 related protocols. Please, delegates, friends, observers, visitors, remember to carry your vaccination card with you at all times.
Yaoboabing Asamoah also urged such interested aspirants to focus their energies on preaching the policies and programs of the party.
The Ghanaian people are thirsty for a clear, consistent, and sustainable path towards growth. It is a path of mobilization. This is the time for mobilization. This is not the time for leadership contention. Only a year ago, the good people of Ghana renewed the mandate of the current leadership of the government. That leadership was offered to the people by the party. The leadership of President Akufo-Addo, as endorsed by the people, has 3 more years to work towards realizing the vision that Ghana voted for. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the party press release of 10th December 2021 seeks nothing more than to focus the collective will of the party on the needs of the people at this time. Now, our need as a governing party in the leadership of the nation is to demonstrate our readiness to mobilize the people around a path to self-sustaining economic and social growth through mechanisms that the people accept can work effectively. The people are hungry for direction. The NPP government is offering direction. The e-levy is one such direction. It is a major opportunity that may move us beyond general price inflation occasioned by energy sector levies. It can also support a viable process of public debt reduction and employment generation for our youth. However, it needs to be owned by the people. We wish all the paraphernalia by leadership aspirants were about the e-levy. Then we would be mobilizing the people in their entirety around the concept of the e-levy, a clear leadership signal.
Minority in Parliament says it cannot abandon its quest to reject the 2022 budget. According to Minority Chief Whip, the resolve of the caucus is aimed at safeguarding parliamentary procedure and holding the government accountable. This comment comes after Asantehene Otumfuo said Su cautioned the minority against taking an entrenched position to frustrate government business. But the Asawase MP has dismissed claims that their action is frustrating government business. He spoke to the press.
Well, I mean, with a greater respect to His Majesty, I mean, I come from Asante region, and I mean, I'll be the last to show disrespect to the king. Unfortunately, we have rules in the house. We have processes that we follow. We cannot abandon that to say that the illiterate will have to wait till 4 years to be able to exercise their franchise. That's why within the 4 years, 4 budgets will have to come. That's why within the 4 years, 4 states of the nation will have to come. That's why within the 4 years, loans will have to come, agreements will have to come. When they come, it is our responsibility representing them to do what is right. So we are only doing what we are supposed to do. We can assure His Majesty and all the pastors and imams, the opposition or the minority, we are not here to obstruct government business. Encourage government to also do what is right. For example, at the estimate, how do you come and tell me that, oh, goods and services that was given me last 2021, budget approved, 2 billion. I've spent 1 billion and I don't want to give you the details. Or you go and categorize some particular offices. Because all these details will come very soon. You put them under, they have some particular, what do you call chart code. We call it the chart of accounts. Code. It is secretive. You cannot be secretive with me when I give you my money. We are saying that open it and let us see what is in it. If you don't have anything to hide, I mean, you go. President of America, the budget of his office is known. How he uses the money is known. How the Congress uses this money is known. Why are you hiding some of the figures and say that I should just gloss over them? And say that, oh, glossing over them, it is.
You also served notice the Minority Caucus will reintroduce its motion seeking to set aside the approval of the 2022 budget when the Speaker of Parliament, Alvan Bagbin, returns from his medical trip.
It came as a shock because we had believed that he was going to exercise discretion rightly and taking the opportunity to correct why we believe he acted wrongly. But unfortunately, one, the letter was dated wrongly, first, and two, the order that he quoted, 13.2, in our view, has no relation completely with the motion that we're demanding. So we are responding officially.
A court of appeal in Cape Coast has set 24 January 2022 to determine the stay of execution filed by lawyers of Asin North MP Joe Jachikwason. The determination of the application is expected to deal with the issue of whether or not the Asin North MP could still stay in Parliament while the substantive appeal is heard, or the decision of the Cape Coast High Court annulling the parliamentary elections in the Asin North constituency could be enforced. The court on Monday dismissed the 2 applications filed by lawyers for the Asin North MP, one on whether the matter of Article 94 2A, the qualification of an MP, should be referred to the Supreme Court for interpretation, and the other on an application filed by the Asin North legislators' lawyers seeking to add additional grounds of appeal. Richard Kwejo Nyakun is our Central Regional correspondent. He was in court for us. Kwejo, what else transpired in court today?
Also, Aisha, 3 things essentially happened in court. The first had to do with the dismissal of an application filed by lawyers for the Asin North MP over the referral of Article 94 2A of the 1992 Constitution. And this article relates to the qualification of a member of Parliament. So while the Asin North MP argues that the matter bordered on interpretation and matters of interpretation fall squarely within the ambit of the Supreme Court, the judge who dealt with the election petition indicated that the High Court or the Supreme Court has dealt extensively on that matter, and so it required no further interpretation. And so it went on and on. The second one also related to the dismissal of another application filed by Messrs. Shaju Chikata and Justin Teriwaja. These are the lawyers for the Asin North MP, and they were seeking to add additional grounds of appeal to what they already have, but the court refused that application as well. And the third relates to the stay of execution. Remember that as soon as the High Court in Cape Coast gave its judgment, lawyers for the Asin North MP filed for a stay of execution. And Aisha, this put a strain on the judgment and prevented the petitioner to enforce the court's decision that annulled the Asin North parliamentary elections and subsequently restrained the MP from carrying himself as a member of Parliament for that particular area. So the date has been set. That is the 22nd of January 2022 for that matter to be heard.
Kwejo Nyakun is our correspondent in the Central Region, and that's where we part company on Joy News Prime. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.